Start W for sustain. That is 100% incorrect. Holy cow, Chat GPT.
I have a theory that as all this crazy AI stuff comes rolling in, that human expertise is going to be that final 1% you need to understand the topic. The Chat GPT, the AIs, they're going to get 90% of it right, miss 10% of it, and I'd like to test that theory today. My name is WillieP. If you guys don't know, I'm an UDYR One Trick. I've hit Challenger way back in the day. I'm Grandmasters as of this season, but I've played UDYR for 15 years. As always, me and Nora have got some life dreaming goals. If you do enjoy the video, please like it, subscribe, comment. It really helps the algorithm. And if you do disagree in any way, just share your perspective instead of hitting the dislike button. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I read all my comments. Let's jump in.
When designing this experiment, I thought of two things. Number one, I want somebody who's new to UDYR to be able to learn from this video. But number two, I want to give Chat GPT enough room to be able to explain itself, but not enough room to where it's going to mess up. Because if you ask too niche of a topic on anything in the world right now, I don't know if you'd ever get it right. So we're going to go with these 5 broad questions here, starting with number 1. How do I play UDYR? Let's find out. UDYR is a unique and versatile champ in League of Legends, especially after his reorganization on stances. That is true. Each offering different tools for combat, mobility, and survivability. He can be built many ways. Yep. Here's a simple breakdown tailored to modern gameplay. Passive, bridging, 4 bonus effects. Each stance gives attack speed. That's the first error. That is not true. Only Q gives attack speed. Using a new stance gains movement speed. That's actually the old Monkey's agility passive from years ago. You used to be able to swap 3 stances and keep those stacks. Nowadays, you get no bonus attack speed or movement speed for swapping into a stance. Tiger stance gives you a burst of attack speed and bonus damage. Awaken, more attack speed and empowered autos, give or take, yes. Turtle stance, shield plus shield on it. Awaken, larger shield and stronger. Yep. Bear stance, dash plus stun on first hit. Awaken, movement speed and CC. Yep. AoE magic aura, awaken, more damage and storm follows enemy. Correct. That is a great example of 90% correct, 10% wrong. What are the best clear paths for UDYR? So standard clear to UDYR is one of the fastest clears. That is not true anymore. He used to be. Right now, he's got about a 315 to 320 clear on a Raptors or a Wolf start. You can get it down to like 309 on a blue or a red start. There are champions in the game right now. For instance, Dr. Mundo Jungle has a 304 clear. Zyra's got like a 258 clear or something crazy. UDYR is not one of the fastest clears. Karthus is faster. Zed is faster. Start W for sustain. That is 100% incorrect. Holy cow, Chat GPT. That is, you never start W. W is the worst stance to start in. I guess E is technically. You do Q or R level 1, and then you flex into either Q or R level 2, depending on what you didn't do. And then if you're ganking, usually bear level 3. And if not, if you're full clearing, you do W level 3 and do bear level 4. Path like Red Krugs Raptors, I don't like that it's telling new players to path every game. Red Krugs is a great start, but I would say, if I were Chat GPT, I would say you can do any clear path in the game that you want. You can do a full clear by 315 easily. Not easily. That is literally not true. Wolf clear path barely can scratch that, for instance. And to somebody learning UDYR, you're really going to be closer to 330. In terms of standard clear, it really didn't do a good job here. Ganking, E bear stun, did that follow up with your QR? Yep. Well, usually, I'm going to be honest, this isn't even true. You don't run in with E. Usually when you're ganking, you turn on your W first, and then like when you're like, I don't know, 20 feet out, walking in, turn on your W, then you turn on your R early to get it on cooldown, so that way when you get close to them, you'll clip them with your R circle, but it's about to run out. Then you turn on your E to get the bonus movement speed with the circle active and your shield on. Then you bear stun, then you go into Q immediately to get the attack speed, and then usually by all this is done, your W and your R is coming back up, and that's how to properly gank. You don't usually run in with E. That's what noobs do. Awaken E before ganks. That is the worst advice I have ever heard. You should not awaken E before ganks. Awaken E is a desperation tool. You only use it if you absolutely need to. Awaken E is your worst ability on UDYR 90% of the time if you're dying. I think it's because you're probably using it. Mid-game, power farm and pressure lanes with decent gold. UDYR can solo objectives with no gold. UDYR can solo objectives. He needs, if I could rewrite Chat GPT, UDYR can solo dragon at level 3 with no items, truly. Uses the mobility and survivability to apply pressure and run between lanes. That is true. Survivability is one of the things. Power farming is important. I would say pressuring lanes is too generic to be helpful to a new UDYR player. UDYR isn't a traditional frontliner or backline diver. He's more of a bruiser or utility disruptor. I mean, I kind of agree, but I would say in 2025, he is a traditional frontliner, especially with the Leandri stank. Optimal builds. I think this is one of the other questions I had. What are the best builds for UDYR? Bruiser build, Conquer, Triumph, Tenacity, Last Stand, Conditioning, and Resolve. You should do usually Approach, Velocity, and Magical Boots is what I would recommend to most people learning UDYR. Mythic, Trinity Force, or Stridebreaker. No, we're literally in a Leandri's meta. Don't take my word for it, by the way, because, like, obviously I'm pretty strongly opinionated, but I hope you guys always know that my information comes from data. I'm an economics major from Vanderbilt. I really like my numbers, boys. And so this is the current patch data if you guys want it. 15.11, I believe, is what we're on. You can see that Leandri's is hard outperforming Triforce. Leandri's, I've been saying this on stream. UDYR's S tier in R max tank form right now. They just buffed him. He's really, really good. Jack Show is not core. Sunder is not core. Titanic Hydra is not core. Spirit Visage is flex, semi-core, depending on the build you go. Thornmail is awful on UDYR. Randuin's is pretty good. Usually you go Frozen Heart, though. Plated Steel Capture, Merc Treads. I do agree with that, but it should mention Swifties as an option against slowing teams. Tanky Utility, Grasp Within, Dying, or Aftershock. Those are tank top runes. Are you telling me how to jungle or how to play top? This is incorrect. Items, Iceborne Gauntlet, Sunfire Aegis, Force of Nature, and Gargoyle. I mean, like, if this was, like, 2 years ago. Data, AP UDYR, off meta but fun. Correct. Phase Rusher, First Strike. What? No! Never First Strike. I've tested this rune actually quite extensively. No, do not take that. It's Phase Rusher, Dark Harvest, Riftmaker, Night Harvester. No, what is Night Harvester? Oh my God, this is just so wrong. Guys, if you want to learn how to play AP UDYR, I have a fantastic guide out there that you should really go check out. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. The blueprint for actually how to play the fun build. I'll tell you kind of the golden formula, and I'll give you the flexibility to know what to plug into that second option, right? This is like generic information. If I was a new UDYR player, I feel like this would be really bad. And again, it's mentioning passive attack speed. You only get attack speed upon activating your Q. You get more attack speed upon going into Awaken Q, but there is no passive attack speed. Best rolls, yep, I agree. This is the one that I want to see if it's, like, capable of answering. Winning as UDYR comes down to knowing your power windows. That is true. Power windows and patience. I've talked about this in our other video, the most important skill for UDYR. Understanding your roles in fight and using your tempo to control the game. Win the early game is a top tier early game jungler. He is terrible early game. He's really weak up until about level 4. And even then, it's not until level 7 that you've got equal points in your damage abilities compared to other people because you don't have an ultimate. They do. You can invade them, but, like, it depends on prio in 2025 because you're weak early game. Gank lanes, not at level 3, usually at level 4. Snowball, I mean, that was like, I swear this is reading my guides from 6 years ago. Like, this is not current UDYR. This is pre-reworked UDYR playstyle. Always play for objectives. This is a great advice to give to an UDYR player. I agree. You know, First Dragon bumps your chances of winning the game by like 20 to 30%. Use a snowball. Yep. This is great. Play like a disruptor. This is really good advice. Using this specific language, disruptor, it's pretty smart of it. UDYR is very disrupting. It's kind of what he does. Adapt your stance priority. Need damage. Yep. Under threat. Yeah. But need damages. The damage only works on isolation. So I would clarify if I was CHAT GPT explaining this to a new UDYR player that they have to be isolated to really work it. Pick fights or split smartly. Split push is dead in 25 for the deer. I strongly recommend just team fighting. UDYR doesn't scale like a hyper carry. That is actually 100% incorrect. Let me go to the UDYR wiki. And I want you guys to look at these numbers for yourself and think about what happens when you start stacking on percent multipliers like Leandri's, Riftmaker, stuff like that, right? So, like, if we look at your Q, right, you get 8% max health damage at full points in Q. And then if you go into your Awaken Q, you get an extra, 2 to 4% on hit. Every single statistic you have in UDYR's kit is percent based. I tell people UDYR is a hyperscaler without a gap closure, meaning if they're hyper mobile like Vayne, they'll always be able to deal with you, but you're going to be able to bully the crap out of any late game carry like Kassadin, for instance. Mental checklist, fully clear early track enemy jungle. This is just so generic. I don't know, dude. Controlled chaos, fast clears, objective dominance, jungle control, flexible team presence. Like, I appreciate this, but I also would say if you swapped out winning as Xin Zhao and said fast clears, objective dominance, jungle control, this is not helpful enough for me as a new player. It's cool that it knows match history and all that. And then as a final joke, is WillieP good at the game? And has he hit Challenger? As of now, there's no publicly known record reaching Challenger in League of Legends across any major. Here's 2 screenshots from back in the day we dug up from like old whatever. ChatGPT may or may just not know what the fuck it's talking about, right? I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching so far in this video. Do me a favor and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you did disagree with me in any way, share your perspective. Don't dislike. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I thought this was a pretty fun video. If you guys have other questions you'd like me to ask Chat GPT and go through them side-by-side manner, let me know. Bye.
Dang. Call me so I can make it juicy for ya.